What's up, guys? Welcome to the Fantasy Addiction Network. This is the Week 15 game preview of the Colts at Saints. The start sets for this game. Let's look at the Vegas over-under. Right now, the over-under is 46, and the Saints are heavily favored to win this one. Right now, the implied point total is about 28 to 18, 19, given how you want to round it. So Vegas is expecting the Saints to blow the Colts out in this one. I definitely like the Saints to win, but I think the Colts will be able to hang with them a little bit closer here. So I like a lot of the fantasy options in this game. For those of you that just need quick information on who I'm starting and sitting, I'm starting both Brees and Brissett in this one. I think this will be a good game for offensive points being scored. You have to start Kamara, and I think that Marlon Mack is a good play this week. I'm not looking to start Murray in this one. I'm starting Michael Thomas, obviously, and I think that Pascal is a really good start this week. Hilton might be back. If he does, I think he's worth a flex, but I think there's a lot of better options out there. If you don't want to risk it with a player coming back from an injury, you're okay benching Hilton. And Marcus Johnson is a what-the-heck flex kind of play this week, but not someone I'm looking to get into my lineup. And then I'm definitely not starting either Ted Ginn or Tre'Quan Smith. We're starting both tight ends in this one. Assuming Jared Cook plays, you're playing Jared Cook, and I would play Jack Doyle in this one. But if Jared Cook doesn't play, I'm not looking to pivot over to Josh Hill. I would second guess starting the Saints defense in this one. I definitely think the Saints win, but I like the Colts to hang on and make this a closer game. But I'm not starting the Colts defense against Drew Brees in the Superdome. Okay, well, let's break down each position a little bit more. We'll start with the Colts. Brissett is a pretty sneaky option here. I know a lot of people are expecting the Saints to win this one handily, and even if they do blow the Colts out in the first half, then that would just mean more garbage time for Brissett in the second half. But New Orleans is kind of misleading in their defense. They've been pretty good at the beginning part of the year, but in the last 5 weeks, the Saints have allowed the fourth most fantasy points against the quarterback, and I really think that the Colts are going to put up a fight in this one. So given those two fact patterns, I think that Brissett ends up performing pretty well in this one. Let's look at the running backs, though. I know a lot of people are pretty weary of starting Marlon Mack in this one. He did okay last week. He got you a touchdown, but he didn't get any receptions. I'm going to be contrarian here, and here's why. In the last 5 weeks, the Saints are fifth in points allowed to the running back position. They also just lost both Marcus Davenport and Sheldon Rankins in the same week. So they've already been getting worse against the run, and then they lose two key members of their defensive line. Maybe I'm missing something here, but I really love Mack this week. If you've been waiting for him to come back, then I think you can rely on him to carry you to the fantasy championship this week. On the receiver side, the Saints are allowing the third most points to fantasy wide receivers in the last 5 weeks. If Hilton comes back and it's looking like he has a decent chance to play, I think he'd see a lot of Lattimore, which is another reason why I'm comfortable benching Hilton if you have a better option. I like Pascal either way. I think he's going to have a good game in this one. And I think I like him whether or not Hilton is in the game. I like Marcus Johnson, but I don't necessarily want to chase points in this one unless I'm absolutely desperate. If you're in a really deep league, I think Marcus Johnson carries a decent chance for a touchdown in this one, but there's no guarantee that he gets the volume that you need to feel comfortable starting him. On the tight end side, Doyle had a game to forget last week. A lot of us started him, and he just had multiple dropped passes, including one in the end zone. It was just not a good game from Doyle, but I think that we can forget about that game and move forward. Doyle has had quite a few good games leading up to the poor performance last week. The Saints have allowed top 10 tight end performances in each of the last four weeks, so I think Doyle gets things right in this one. I'd play Doyle with confidence, but I'm not starting the Colts defense against Brees in the Superdome. That's just not something I'm going to do. Looking at the Saints side of the ball, the Colts are fifth in points against the quarterback in the last 5 weeks. Brees is in the dome. I don't think anyone's considering benching Brees anymore after what he did last week. I'm definitely starting him this week. On the running backs, I'm not running away from Kamara. I do think this injury that he sustained earlier in the year is definitely limiting his upside, but I think there's no way that I'm benching Kamara unless I have the most ridiculous running back core ever. If Kamara goes off on your bench, that's something that will induce nightmares for you for fantasy for the rest of your life. So I'm not benching Kamara, but I'm definitely not chancing it with Latavius Murray as long as Kamara is out there splitting carries with him. You're definitely starting Michael Thomas. He's been an absolute monster this year, and that's looking to continue. I just don't like the roulette wheel of Ted Ginn and Tre'Quan Smith in this one. I think there's a good chance that one of them gets a touchdown, but with Taysom Hill out there still threatening to get touchdowns every time he's on the field, you're pretty much only starting Michael Thomas on the receiver side in this one. For the tight ends, I'm assuming that Jared Cook will play this week, but there's definitely no guarantee. He did take a pretty big hit when he left the game last week after scoring his second touchdown on the day. But if he's playing, I think it's pretty simple that you want to play Jared Cook in this offense. And if not, I'm not going to pivot to Josh Hale. He did score a touchdown last week, but there's no guarantee that continues. He hasn't shown us enough to warrant a fantasy start. For the defense, I really like the Colts to hang on close in this one, so I'm probably looking elsewhere, especially after all the injuries that the Saints have sustained recently. I'm looking to play a different defense. But anyway, I hope you guys found this helpful. We're just trying to give you guys quick and useful information to make informed start-sit decisions for this ever-important Week 15 fantasy game. This point of the year can be pretty stressful for a lot of people, so we're just trying to bring the fun back into fantasy football, and it doesn't have to add to all the stress of this holiday season. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please like and subscribe for more content, and we will see you in the next one.